See if we get a live stream going here. Yeah, it was weird. I started a live stream. It seemed like people weren't able to view it there just before this, so we'll give this one a try. We'll head up Michigan Avenue here. We got after 5 o'clock here. September the 29th here, 2025. Is that correct there? Yeah, we'll head up Michigan Avenue. It's a beautiful day here. Yeah. The Carbide and Carbon building. So hey, welcome to Chicago. 79 degrees probably. Got to like 80 degrees. Ernie, how you doing there? Alvin, thanks for tuning in there. Alvin and Ernie, thanks. Ernie, thanks for meeting me at lunch there. I know, like a dummy, you messaged me that Sunday. I laid there on the couch all day and didn't even realize it until you told me there. I'm so sorry. And now you got my cell number there, so you could text me there if it's something important like that. And I appreciate you for letting me know there. But thanks to everybody that reached out there to support of Ernie Chicago Nuggies there, being a grass there by ice. We talked to him at lunchtime there. Thanks for letting me let everybody know what was going on. The comments are vastly in support of against aghast at what happened to Ernie there. And we posted at the TikTok. You can see it there on YouTube as well. Alvin, how you doing there? Thanks for saying hello, Dolores. Chantel, how's everybody doing here? So if it seems like I'm going slow, hey, get your vintage photo here. That's great. I did, one of my legs is sore from doing all the site visits last week. So it's fine. It's just sore, and I'm kind of gimpy on one leg here. So we'll continue to head up Michigan Avenue. We'll head home from work here. Thanks for tuning in here. Hey, there's the Mather Tower. There's, thanks for saying hello there. So I'm probably going to work from home tomorrow. Maybe at lunchtime we'll try to head up to Wrigley Field there to see the opening of the playoffs there. The Cubs are going to play the San Diego Padres there to start the postseason there. Both the wild card playoffs here. Here we're across Wacker Drive. Taco, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks. 76 degrees, not too bad. Yeah, we'll see if the Cubs can have a win tomorrow there. At least we got one team in the playoffs there. Hey, we got the bike taxis here. How you doing? Yeah, how you doing? Frank Sinatra. Yeah, Frank Sinatra. Did it my way. That's awesome. Yeah. Frank Sinatra here as we cross Michigan Avenue. Hey, let's see what's happening on the river here. We were at the Riverwalk at lunchtime there. The people cross here. There's the Wrigley building. Tribune Tower. Chicago flag there. Jeff, how you doing there? Jimmy Knight. Yeah, we'll see how the Bulls do this year. The last 2 years, they got to that one game play-in to the playoffs that they lost both years. Hopefully they'll have a better record this year so they can earn one of the, I think half the teams make the playoffs there in the NBA. So, hey, that's a nice, look at that longboard there. It's an amazing piece of equipment there he's got. I'm sure Dan all day New York City would like that, or even Mikey there. Here comes a Chicago tour boat here, Shoreline. Maybe on Wednesday we might see a bridge lift. No promises. We don't know if there are going to be any sailboats that want to come in yet from the harbor. Pete, how you doing there? Yeah, how's everybody doing here? Welcome to Chicago. Yeah, let's head up Michigan Avenue. But Anita's good. Anita's smart. She noticed that there was something wrong with me, and it was my leg there. I was being gimpy. She probably noticed I was walking slower than usual. There's the Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable statue there. We saw it this morning here. Yeah, we didn't get over here at lunchtime. I completely forgotten about this. We walked by here this morning. So let's see what this tent is that they set up here by the Apple Store at Pioneer Plaza here. We just crossed the Chicago River. Over by the Tribune and the Wrigley. Got a forklift here. You can see back to the Loop skyline there. Hey, nice bongos there. So they got heavy security here. Let's see what this is here. Here's the Apple Store. And looks like very VIP here. You must be on a list to get in here. So we'll point the camera over here. Excuse me, can I just, what is this for? Is this
It's a private event.
Private event. Okay, thank you. That's good. So no more information, just a private event. Must be really rich people that don't want to know anything but anybody to know what it is. They pay to have a private event here on the plaza, and it's so exclusive they don't even want to advertise what it's about. Hey, let's see what this is nice here. So yeah, here. Oh, sorry. Here. I'm here. I'm on YouTube here. Thanks. It's a perfect juxtaposition here. Thank you. Southside, I like it. One of my fellow live streamers was detained by ICE, and he's a U.S. citizen, and they threw him up on the hood of the car, and we posted that. So thanks for What's your organization here?
I'm just on TikTok.
Good.
This healthcare should be free.
Yeah.
All one word.
Healthcare should be free.
Yeah.
Good.
So I'm just I have 30 minutes to kill.
That's good. Hey, showing Michigan Avenue here.
Yeah, I got kicked off the bridge. I had the Trump sign right in the background.
Oh yeah, that was good. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Good.
What's your channel?
I'm Brian Really Chicago. I'm on YouTube and TikTok. Brian Really Chicago. BRIANREALLY Chicago. Brian Really Chicago. Thanks, bud. Yeah, that's good. Very good. So here we are on Michigan Avenue here. And he said he just has a half an hour time here, so he's just doing his free speech. There we go. And proud Southside Chicagoan there. He's exercising his first free speech rights here. And here we'll head across here, and we'll head up Michigan Avenue here. Madison, how you doing there? So here we're underneath the Tribune Tower here. Here's the Plaza of the Americas here. I'm heading home from work here. We got Monday, September the 29th here, 2025. We'll probably get off of Michigan Avenue. We'll probably head up Wabash or something. We haven't seen the Ducks in a while, so maybe we'll go see if the Ducks are out tonight once we get to Old Town there. Yeah, thanks, Taco. Russell, Mikanori, how you doing there? Subi. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, some people understand that I'm live streaming, especially I have a gimbal, so it's usually pretty obvious that I'm filming because most people understand, even if they don't understand the gimbal or what my camera is, that I'm talking into the phone. So not everybody's okay with live streamers. Not everybody wants to be recorded in the street. I understand that. I try to be respectful of people. Like for example, that guy didn't want to be recorded, I would have recorded something else, but he seemed to be fine with it, and he's got his own channel. And but I know, sometimes people react badly, and if they indicate to me they don't like me filming them, I film something else. And there's I often say I can always film something else. I don't have to film. I'm not the type of person that shoves the camera in somebody's face and tries to be adversarial. It's just not my nature, because I wouldn't like that to happen to me either. I used to be really paranoid of being on live. Imagine that. Look at me now. But actually being on live so much here, live streaming, actually helps me formulate my thoughts and choose my words carefully. But here, look at the mums here. Every once in a while I lose it too. I break character and lose composure. It's all part of being human here. Yeah, thanks for following there, Shauna. There, yeah. Did you find him? That's good. That's good. We find so many other people have social media platforms here. And here, I saw Vic Cohen did the same thing here. He zoomed in to the crowds here on Michigan Avenue from this point here. I probably saw him do it, and then I did it, and then he did it, and then I did it again. Michigan Avenue here. We're heading down towards Ohio Street. What is this Chicago Tribute? Many of these signs I walk past and I don't even understand. Here it is. Ruth Page. Okay, yeah, we know Ruth Page. We go past the Ruth Page Center for Dance there. There she is there, Ruth Page. She's buried right next to Ernie Banks there in the Graceland Cemetery here at Michigan Avenue, Ohio Street. Yeah, I think I'm going to head a little west on Ohio Street. We'll see how bad the sun is. That's the only bad thing about heading wested. Yeah, TF, I think we saw it. Yeah, I saw that comment this morning. You moved out of Chicago 12 years ago. Unless somebody else said the same thing this morning. Hey, thanks for coming back here. Thanks for checking out Michigan Avenue here. So we'll head across the street here. And we'll head over towards the temporary casino site there. Hey, there's scaffolding, so I'll have to tell Hubert. Hubert knows there's something going in here. This used to be the Under Armour. And so once the new store opens there, we'll be sure to let you know there. Yeah, it's a public street, I know, but believe me, not everybody, see, like that person just covered their face. So not everybody, even if you're in public, even though you're on cameras, like even at the airport, like people are like, don't film me at the airport. I'm like, you know how many cameras you're on at the airport? It's not just the TSA, like every hallway, every approach leading to the airport, you're on camera, you know, and if you trust the police more than you trust a U.S. citizen, that's your purview. I actually trust the police less than a U.S. citizen, but that's me. You know, we got to film the police and they're filming us. Who's going to watch the watchers? Yeah, that's the whole point. But yeah, people don't understand that when you're in public, you forego your right to public privacy. But it doesn't mean someone won't attack you for thinking that they have the right not to be filmed in public. You know, this is, and that's why I said, if I'm ever involved in an altercation, this becomes evidence in the court of law. You know, just like a body cam. I have been streaming where I've seen accidents happen. I've seen a boat accident once. They wanted to use my footage for the insurance claim. And that was for a boat accident on the Chicago River. How you doing? So here's Italy. We're on Ohio Street. We're heading towards Wabash. We'll go by Uno's and Due's, the pizza joints here. Chicago style pizza. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the 100. Appreciate it. I guess you sent me, is that 100 coins there? Thank you. Yeah, YouTube's weird. I mean, McCrae's educating me about how YouTube works. Supposedly, if you do whole round numbers, more of the money goes to me, but if it's like 99 cents, like somehow TikTok and, no, not TikTok, YouTube and Google and Apple all take their cut, which is just how it works there. There's Uno's. There's the temporary casino here. And we'll head up Wabash here. How you doing? There's the original Uno's. This used to be the Medina Athletic, the Medina Temple Auditorium. This was the Medina Temple Auditorium. You see how it says Medina there, built by the Shriners. And it has the onion domes there. It's a temporary location for the Bally's Casino. They're going to build a more permanent location on the North Branch Chicago River. At least that's the plan here. We're on Wabash here. We'll head straight up Wabash here. We're by State 48. Hey, you got a dress code. State 48. Hey, they got a nice terrace there. So here's Pizzeria Due's, Uno's and Due's, the Chicago style pizza right across from the temporary casino there. See, it's just a residential house there. And let's cross the street here. So here we're at Ontario. There's the Waken Bakery. Nice bakery there. There's the back of the Trump Tower looking down Wabash. Here's the, look at the detailing here on the side of the Medina Temple Auditorium. There was an auditorium building, or a theater in there. They removed that when they made it before they made it the Bloomingdale's Furniture Store. Then it was something else, and now it's a casino, so it's completely different, the interior, than how it used to be. So here we'll continue up Wabash here. Wisconsin pizza, yeah. Once they get the chains in other states, yeah, I know it becomes overpriced tourist pizza. You know what you mean there. But here we'll head up Wabash. Look at this parking garage. Got all the metal protecting it there. Joseph, how you doing there, Kelly? No, I haven't seen any troops, but we ran into Ernie today, and Ernie was detained by ICE, even though he's a U.S. citizen, and they put a taser in his back and made sure he had his Social Security. And I mean, it was, I'm sure it was scary going through it there. Ernie said he was just walking down the street, and from behind he had his headphones. They pulled his arm, put him on the hood of the car. I think they handcuffed him, from what he sounds like. They put a taser in his ribs, and they were very mean to him and didn't apologize when he said he was a U.S. citizen. Think of this. So a U.S. citizen was, Ernie, our friend, a Chicago live streamer, was detained by ICE, and they treated him really roughly and didn't apologize. And what, is he going to be subject to this for like over and over again just by walking in his own neighborhood? You know? That's not the way this should go. Here's Erie. We're Erie. There's the Cable House. There, we always show the Cable House here. Cable was a railroad baron that sold it to the McCormicks there. And there's the Dree House. There's a museum. You can tour that. Look at the nice view. You get to the giant Hancock here. We're in Chicago, talking about ICE here. Because, yeah, I saw on the news that there was they had the long guns out, and they were on Michigan Avenue on Sunday. I was talking to Ernie about that. Ernie thinks they're back in the neighborhoods now. They did that just to show people they were downtown on Michigan Avenue. And, you know, all this is like psyops. It's, I know. Born and raised in Chicago. I hear that, Winter. And that's why we're spreading the word here. And, you know, it's one thing if, you know, it's your right as an American to vote for the current administration and want America to enforce their immigration laws and round up the migrants, but we should not be detaining U.S. citizens and harassing U.S. citizens because they meet a certain demographic or live in a certain neighborhood. It's called profiling, and if the police would do it, you would have a lawsuit. Do you notice that ICE is starting to get a lot of lawsuits because, like, there was that guy in New York City where he was like a 79-year-old man, the age of my father, and ICE pushed him down head first, did not give him medical attention, and he was just trying to help out his workers who ICE was after, and he has a $50 million lawsuit. So what if the U.S. government starts losing $50 million lawsuits? You're okay with ICE, you know, bashing people's heads, and then the U.S. taxpayer paying the lawsuits that we're going to lose in court because they are harassing 79-year-old U.S. citizens trying to get whoever dangerous people they're trying to get. They had to injure a 79-year-old American U.S. citizen to keep us safe. You know, it becomes ludicrous at some point. You know, it's like we had to destroy the village to save the village. You know, I don't care what you think about migration. That's a different issue. You should agree that we shouldn't be beating up U.S. citizens. I should not be beating up or harassing U.S. citizens to enforce immigration. Where's that in the great New Deal here, you know? Here, Holy Name Cathedral. So here, let's head up Wabash here. You see that, Winter? Yeah, Balmaro, Jeff. Well, we know what's going on. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And it has to get worse before it gets better. Because, when the stock market's at an all-time high, it's a lot easier to bash poor people's heads in. And corporate America seems to be okay with the current administration. Corporate America, who gets the tax cut, seems to be okay with U.S. government and Congress harassing U.S. citizens and shutting down the government. U.S. businesses seem to be okay with that. They don't give a shit. I'm serious. I'm mad at corporate America because corporate America seems complicit in whatever this administration is doing. You see them all there. Even Tim Cook, who is a liberal who runs Apple, is sitting there bending the knee to his king, Trump. I'm serious. This is Tim Cook. I'm being critical of Tim Cook here because I would hope him being a billionaire could have more backbone to stand up for his convictions. Instead, money must be more important to him than people's civil rights. I'm talking about Tim Cook bending a knee, kissing the ring there, going there to get his tax cut for Apple. And they have so much money. Apple has so much money. And yet the greed is just, unfathomable. And yeah, Tim Cook, he's such a nice guy, like Warren Buffett, such a nice guy, a laughable old guy, And there's children starving in Palestine. I know they didn't cause that, but see, it shows you the extreme wealth and extreme poverty, extreme peace and extreme warfare in the same world. Here, we're at Chicago Avenue here, and Wabash here. Hey, there's the one Chicago Tower. It's looking nice. So here, let's head up Wabash. Let's go see if we can find the ducks there. We're going on a mission to find the ducks there in Old Town. Thanks, Wes. Thanks for listening. Yeah, and so I don't know if I'm more mad at conservative Republicans or if I'm more mad at corporate America, which enabled and made this possible. People like Elon Musk, who is part of corporate America, 401ks. I want people to start questioning what you're investing in. I'm not telling you to sell your 401k, but you see how corporate greed and corporate profits lead to us. Look, they're having a symposium here. Loyola University School of Communication here. They're having a symposium here. Look at that. Very nice. Yeah, look at that. They got the panel there. Been piping out the... Yeah, I could hear what they're talking about there. So, hey, Loyola University here. Sister Jean, very nice. We're crossing here at Pearson and Wabash here, Chicago, Illinois. But think about the relationship between corporate America and fascism, what that guy signed. The fascism, the definition is the merger of corporations with state power, where the government picks winners and losers. The government invests government money with corporate money like they're doing with Intel. That's fascism. And fascism can happen on the left and it can happen on the right. It can happen both ways. Usually when it happens on the left, it's called state-controlled command economy, like communism or socialism. But when it's on the right, it's called fascism. And think of Schindler's List. Schindler made money off the Nazis. I'm talking about the movie that Steven Spielberg made. And he was complicit and made money off of enslaved labor during World War II. And he had a guilt of conscience, and that's why he eventually saved people in Schindler's List there, which is what the movie was about. Here's the John Hancock here. And we'll go film the Rivian here. We'll film the Tesla. And we need to hold our corporations more accountable to the public, because who benefits if the corporations are going to dominate and control our government through the money, through Citizens United, and by them completely dominating the election cycle through money? We need to hold corporations more responsible for the outcomes of our governments that they elect by money. I don't care if it's the left or the right. We need better outcomes than we're getting here. The only metric shouldn't be, are you more prosperous? Or do we have a more egalitarian society that's benefiting everybody, or just people at the top? I sound like Bernie Sanders, I know, but he's got a point. And here's, we're heading up Rush Street here. Thanks for tuning in here. We're walking home from work here, Chicago, Illinois. Here we're on Rush Street at Delaware. And thanks for paying attention here. If you don't turn on to politics, politics will turn on you. What did Ralph Nader say? And we desperately need a third party, a centrist party that can steal from both the left and the right and prove to them that they can't just dominate with the minority on the right or the minority on the left. Because that's what's happening now. The minority on the left dominates the Democratic Party. The minority on the right dominates the Trump MAGA party there. Whatever republicanism has become. I'm not even sure what it is here. Here's the... this is certainly not what Ronald Reagan, at least Trump's starting to act tougher towards Russia, which I commend him for that, because he was kind of bowing down to Russia. But I will see how long it lasts. And these are just my opinions. Here's the Cybertruck. So, Tesla. Yeah, I transferred that video of the Cybertruck being towed from last February to YouTube there. And I think that person lives in the neighborhood there, because we continue to see that Cybertruck parked in that same general area there. So it's probably someone that lives right around there. And they got their truck back. And hopefully it didn't damage them, his Cybertruck, or them pulling away there. It won't last. Nothing lasts. Nothing lasts here. How you doing here? Thanks for tuning in here. Welcome to Chicago here. We're heading home here on a Monday. There's these cats with the wings. Yeah. Ritzy always puts on nice window displays. Yeah, the cats. So here we're up at Rush and Walton here, heading home from work here on a Monday. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube here. Yeah, the postseason starts tomorrow. I think the Cubs play the Padres at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So, Grim Evil's tuning in there. Digby, how you doing there? There. Dior. Yeah, Dior, how you doing there? Oh, Versace. Yeah, get your Versace man bag there. Hey, nice golden blouse. Oh, Brunello Cucinelli there. Wow, look at those gloves. Look at those sequin gloves. Yeah, they got some Yoko Ono exhibit at the Modern Museum of Art. I don't know what that is. Here, Oliver Peoples. Yeah, what a mess. So this is Rush Street. This is Rush Street and Oak Street in Chicago. So Oak Street is like Rodeo Drive, but it's in Chicago. It's on the north side of downtown here. See, this is Hermes. Here's Prada. This is Oak Street right here. We know Michael from Bravco Beauty there. Bravco Beauty's down there. It's probably the only place I would shop here within my price range. But we walk through here because it's on my way home from work and on my way to work. So we get to peruse these high-end fashionista shops here. Very nice. Rush Street at Oak, Chicago, Illinois. We got about 77 degrees. It's pretty, not a bad afternoon at all. Hey, they got some skiing gear here. Hey, we'll go by Tavern on Rush here. There's Hugo's Frog Bar, Gibson's, all these nice restaurants there. We'll check out Mariana Park since it's nice. We'll get to Washington Square later in the week. Usually we go by Washington Square a few times in the week to watch the dogs going by. I'm taking a short route home today because my legs kind of messed up from last week. Yeah, where's Jim Belushi? I don't know. Now, Jim Belushi is the brother of John Belushi. John Belushi is the one that died in the early 1980s there after the Blues Brothers and with Dan Aykroyd. And here's the Tavern on Rush, the Thompson Hotel. There's the Lux Bar, the Pancake House. This is the Bellevue. We'll cross right over. There's our friend, the photographer that sits out here. He always, he's like a paparazzi. He catches rich and famous people coming out of Gibson's here and gets their photo. Very nice. Hey, here's the fountain here. Here's Mariano Park here. We saw our friends there. We talked to them last week or the week before. I still need to cut out those videos. But here's the fountain here. You can go get your gelato here. Well, they got the gelato put up here. Whispers Cafe. Here's the fountain here. Wait for Carmine's to open there. But hey, you come out here with the dog there. Yeah, I don't know what PCA stands for. What does PCA stand for? I don't know my acronyms there. Do I want to know? I probably don't want to know what you're asking. Ukraine, how you doing there? Yeah, thanks for hitting the thumbs up there. Oh, you want to get a Robert Palmer drink there? Yeah. There, Velvet Taco. Hey, we got the light here, Rush Street. Hey, look at a nice view. You get to the John Hancock back down Rush Street. See, we're crossing here, Cedar. This is where State Street. Oops, coming across here. Yeah, mango, mango, mango. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, they're here in front of the Warby Parker here.
Have a good day.
Oh, they're so nice. They're so nice asking for money. I know it's all for a good cause there. How can you say no? Hey, Lou Malnati's. Lou Malnati's. There's the pigeon. Hey, it's good to be back in Chicago. It's good to get back downtown. Tomorrow we might stay up on the north side there because the Cubs got their first playoff game there. I think it's the most interesting thing that'll be happening tomorrow, at least in Chicagoland area. Is anything else going on? But I'm glad we ran into Ernie today. I'm glad he told us what happened to him. I'm not happy about what happened to him. If you missed it, Ernie, our friend, Chicago Nuggies there, fellow Chicago live streamers, was detained by ICE there. So I posted our encounter. I asked if it was okay. He said, yeah, spread the word. And thanks everybody for your messages of concern and hoping Ernie was okay. I know it shook him up there. It's none of us, just like any of us, if you're like detained for being arrested or anything that's, it's just he was just walking down the street from behind. He had the headphones in. The next thing he knows, he's up on the hood of the car. They're like, show us your papers. And fortunately, and Ernie should not have to walk around carrying a social security card everywhere he goes. Is that how we treat U.S. citizens? You got to carry your papers proving you're a citizen wherever you go. When did this happen in this country? I'm serious. This makes me very angry, and I hope it makes you angry as well. And whatever the current administration is trying to do, enforcing immigration laws, they should not detain and intimidate and harass U.S. citizens to do it. I don't care who they are. What's your probable cause? They won't even identify themselves. You're not even sure who's arresting you. Just a bunch of meatheads. Yes, I said that. Now I'm probably going to be detained and harassed by them now because they got, and I'm willing to do it because it's wrong. And just look at the civil disobedience that Gandhi had to go through. You have to literally, like Martin Luther King, civil disobedience, nonviolent. That's key. Nonviolent civil disobedience. It shames the aggressor. It shows you how inhumane their policies are, and by showing that it's harassment, and it's not the values we want. How they say we had to destroy American values to save American values. Everybody deserves due process, even if you're not a U.S. citizen, because how can we promote human rights abroad and not enforce them here within our own? And I think that's the point. The point is that we can use force to control you, and you must accept our authority. And Americans don't like that. Historically, that's why we fought the Revolutionary War. But here, we'll head home from work. We'll calm down here. But I'm glad Ernie's okay. Thanks everybody for your messages of support. Yeah, I saw the images on TV of the long guns being out and the overwhelming show of force in Michigan Avenue on Sunday. And Ernie was trying to message me. I didn't even see the message until today, and I'm glad he ran into me and let us know. Here, look at this cute dog here. So here, we'll go by. Hey, Wish McGuire's here sitting. How you doing? Yeah. We'll look by Mother's here. Hey, they got the Halloween stuff out there. Look, Wish McGuire's. Yeah, they got the Tales from the Crypt there. Yeah, we'll start to see more Halloween stuff. Hopefully. So there's Dearborn Street. We'll head over to Wells. But hey, welcome back to Chicago here. We're at Dearborn and Division here. Yeah, Division. You got it. Division Street, Division, and Dearborn. That's where we're at here. So here, we can cross here. There's nobody coming. Hey, Bengals fan there. That's good. Yeah, we'll go by Woody's. Woody's is a Ohio State Cincinnati Bengals bar here in Chicago on Wells Street here. Yeah, Social Security home. Don't leave home without it. That was American Express's old slogan there. Yeah, don't leave home without it. And that's what. Yeah, we go. That's what was so amazing about what Ernie said. He said like the real ID that you know. Remember all you had to go through to get your real ID. You had to show your birth certificate and your Social Security card. It proves you're a U.S. citizen. He said that doesn't mean anything. They wanted the Social Security card, which doesn't have your photo on it, or they wanted your birth certificate, which doesn't have your photo on it. Or if it did, it would be you as a baby or your little foot there, and shows you lawyers have ruined the world. And if you're a lawyer, help me out there. Prove to me. I know I'm going to need a lawyer someday, so that's why we haven't ruined the world. Here, we'll get across the street. So here we're at Clark and Division here. Yeah, it's hard going into the sun here. So here. Yeah, I see you, Davey. How you doing? Yeah, Grim Evil there. There's 2 Monday night games tonight. Yeah. Is the Cincinnati Bengals in one of them? Yeah. So are they gonna? I know they would do that the first. Why are they having 2 tonight? They would do that for the first game of the season. Is there a reason they're having 2 Monday nights tonight? I don't know. Just trying to monetize more games in the prime time is all it is. Jets versus Dolphins. Okay. Bengals and the Broncos, and then Jets versus the Dolphins. Thanks for the good info there. Thanks for helping me out there with the Monday night football game. Yeah, I saw a woman wearing a Cincinnati Bengals jersey. I suspected that was why. Yeah, we'll go by Woody's. We'll see if there's some Cincinnati Bengals fans hanging out there. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Chicago here. We're at Division in the South. We'll get you a view to the Sears Tower. It's hard for me to film straight into the setting sun here. But there's the Sears Tower. We got close to the Sears Tower. We didn't get underneath it. I saw Ken's was streaming later at this afternoon, and she was by the Sears Tower. So here we'll head over to Wells Street. We just got to go another block here. Hey, Sears Tower. 110 stories, 1,400 feet, over 400 meters tall. Here we're crossing the South Street here. Hey, that's a nice dog. They just do it at the beginning of the season? Okay, good. Broncos and the Jets there. Yeah, I hope you win there. Win that football card there. All betting all the time. No, that's good. Parlay. The casino that Ricketts built, we might see it tomorrow there. But hey, let's head over to Wells Street. We'll see if anybody's sitting outside for Monday Night Football. And we'll go up to the Duck House. Yeah, As long as Green Bay loses, you're right. Shauna says the Broncos are going to lose. There you go. We'll get the rivalry going here. Yeah, who's rooting for which team there? So I'm just trying to get away from the sun here. Let's see how you doing. Appreciate it. So here we'll head over to Wells Street here.
Cool phone.
Hey, thank you. Mango. How you doing? Yeah, I'm sure he did like my phone. Now let me sell you something. So you let me give you a compliment. Now give me your money. Here's House of Glunts. Wells Street here, yeah. So we got a near North Animal Hospital, Old Town. Here's the Happy Camper. Of course, there's one up in Wrigleyville. This is the one in Old Town. Same as the Wild Hare there, or the Rabbit Hole. Wild Hare's a reggae place there. It's on Halstead. But I always get the Rabbit Hole confused with that. But the Happy Camper. We'll head up Wells Street through Old Town here. Hey, we got 2 Monday night football games there, so there you go. Place your bets. Yeah, that was the last Quiznos that we know of in Chicago. You're very observant. People often ask me about that Quiznos. They're like, I don't know if I've ever gone to a Quiznos. But first time for everything, I guess. Right here we'll head up Wells Street. So we're in Old Town. Welcome to Old Town, Chicago, Illinois here. So we're Wells Street north of Division. We're the 1200 block of Wells Street. There's a nice dog there. How you doing there, doggy? Yeah. Very nice. Hanging out with the mums here. Yeah, this is where the Fresh Market used to be here. They've closed down. But some of the Foxtrots reopened, but not the grocery store, except for the one up in Lincoln Park. It became something else. Opening soon. So, no, this used to be Dom's. It used to be Dom's, so it looks like they're going to try to open a Fresh Market here. And I think that's what happened up in Lincoln Park. So, this might be good news if this opens as a Fresh Market here. So, let's post this again here. So, here, look at the beautiful tile pieces here. This used to be, from what I understand, this used to be automobile dealerships. Look, they got the fleur-de-lis. But this is where the Dom's Market used to be. Remember when that closed down suddenly when all the Foxtrots and stuff? So it looks like the Fresh Market opening soon. So the Fresh Market's another grocery chain. I think that's what took over the Dom's in Lincoln Park up there on Halstead by Diversity. This is Wells Street at Goethe. And we'll keep if this new Fresh Market opens, we'll let you know once it's open here. So I know our friends that live here in Old Town will be happy that there's another grocery store coming back. South Carolina, how you doing there, Kim? Thanks for tuning in. Quiznos in the Blimpie. Yeah. UK, how you doing there? Open Plumbing, thanks for tuning in to Chicago here. Yeah, we're on YouTube here. We're heading home from work. And we're on Wells Street. This neighborhood is called Old Town. We got about 79 degrees Fahrenheit, 77 degrees. What's that, 21 Celsius? Pretty pleasant day. 22 maybe. And I'm not good with my, like all Americans, I'm not good with my metric system. We were supposed to switch in 1986. I distinctly remember being in grammar school and they were like, oh, by 1986, everybody will completely switch to the metric system. And so all we got was 2-liter soda bottles, and our milk's still in gallons and pints and hectares and furlongs and acres and a mile's 5,280. Why? Very important number there, 5,280. Here's the pumpkins here, the big gourds here. You go to the garden center, Old Town Garden Center. They got the spiders out. Yeah, they got the spooky stuff. So, hey, you get your Halloween supplies. Come here to the garden center. in Old Town. Look, they got pumpkins. Let's check out the pumpkin prices. I know that's what everybody's looking. There we go. $25. That's not bad. That's not $100. I was afraid it'd be $100. It's a $10 pumpkin. That's not too bad. Got some nice sized pumpkins here for $25. Yeah. How you doing? Let me get out of the way. Sorry. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, people like the prices. Yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's better because we were afraid it was going to be more. The $10 pumpkins and $25 pumpkins. That's not bad.
The big one.
The big one's 25. Yeah. This one's only $12. That's good. Yeah, $2. That's good. Yeah, that's good. I'm letting people know. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I'll be back. Thank you. That's good. Yeah, come here to the Old Town Garden Center. That's good. Yeah. Very nice. See, friendly staff there. See, much better prices than last year. Last year we saw a $75 pumpkin there. Yeah, they're cheaper. Yeah, $10. You got to go to Menards. Go to Menards. You save big money at Menards, right? I want to save little money. Big money, I want to save big money. There's the Village Cycle Center. Save big money at Menards. Here, Village Cycle Center, the bike experts. Yeah, Old Town Pub. Yeah, coming to town here, winter. You come to the market. That's the key to capitalism right there. You find a market that they're paying too much, and you find a cheaper good, and you drive it to where people are paying the highest price for it. And that's how sports stadiums work. When people pay $14 for a beer, but they might if they're at a ball game there, and it's right there next to their seats, so they don't have to get up. You bring a beer that costs 50 cents, you sell it for $14, $19. Here, Julie Maxwell. We're not in Kansas anymore. Yeah, the Broken English Taco Pub, nothing lasts. Remember J.C. Rivera? It's always great work there. They did keep one on the side. Let's see if they still got the one on the north here. Here, look, National Historic Register, property, Windy City Travel, Patina Collection, Antiques. It's all boarded up. There, Orso's is still here. Old Town's starting to look boarded up here, but here, this is new. Third Coast Stitches here, so that one thing closes, something else goes in its place there. Orso's. Here's Orso's Restaurante. Dine-in specials. Yeah, buy one pizza, get one pizza. Old Town. Well, let's see if they still got one little piece of the Bear Champ here. It's hard to see from that tree there. Yeah, it's hard to see. There's a little last piece of the Bear Champ right there. We have to see it from the other side of the street there, but there, the Gaslight Court, Old Town. I saw Jennifer You Should Eat. She was down in this area last week when I was out of town, which is good. I'm glad she covered it at night too, which is good. Yeah, $14 beers, $2 hot dogs. You got it. Yeah, where's the ketchup? Jenny's ice cream. Yeah, Alicia's family there. How you doing there? Yeah, Lambie Tea. Very nice. El Scout, what is that? So I think they're trying to open something. So remember, this used to be the Poorhouse. It's called the Scout Waterhouse and Kitchen. So they're going to rebrand this. This used to be the Poorhouse. Remember, Brandon used to like this, and it's called the Scout. And so hey, some things closed, some things open. So I'm very excited about the grocery store, the Fresh Market going in. We're Dom's Market on Wells Street, and we'll see if that bar, the Scout there. Yeah, we saw the Rainbow Cone and the Cinnabon finally open there on Michigan Avenue, just south of where I worked there. Ernie broke that. He saw it last week when they were first open there at nighttime. Yeah, no ketchup. Yeah, is he calling this a war zone here, Old Town? Yeah. You know, it just shows we all live in our own reality. Some people need the image of Chicago. You know, there are dangerous areas of all cities, including this city and probably the city you live in too. But, you know, hopefully you're sophisticated to realize that the area we're in right now doesn't represent the whole city of Chicago, just represents the area we're in right now. Chicago's vast. Here's Burton Place here. Carl Street Studios are over there. And we'll head up Wells Street here. We're on a mission to find the ducks here. Hey, how you doing there? So there's Topo Gigio. That's where the original Crate and Barrel used to be. Old Town's the neighborhood, Wells Street. We're just south of North Avenue here a little bit. We crossed Schiller already. No, we already crossed Burton Place. There's the Frame Hamlet. But there's the Spice House, the Benchmark. Topo Gigio's a good restaurant here in Old Town. Nice Italian restaurant. You need reservations, especially on weekends. So I don't think it's closed. It's not even open tonight. It's Mondays. It's when they take the day off. Because they're open on weekends. But here we'll go by LG's Bar, the Vig. We'll go by Woody's. I think the Cincinnati Bengals play tonight, so there'll be some Bengals fans, I'm sure, here at Woody's. LG's is not open, but the Vig is. So some of these close on Mondays, and some of them are open on Mondays. Wells Street, Old Town, Chicago. How you doing? Ah, the Vig, it looks nice. Yeah, Red Orchid Theater here. Yeah, I like this booth here, how they got it decorated there. Yeah, Kamahachi here, nice sushi place here. And here's Woody's, Wells Street, Old Town, Chicago. Hey, get your beer hug here. Hey, look. Yeah, the Bengals, yeah. Very nice. Yeah, Woody's, Wells Street. You go to Utopian Tailgate on top of the Second City here. Here's Zany's Comedy Club here, Up Down Cigar. Here's the bookshop. Merci beaucoup. There's the bookshop. Go down to there. Slant of Light Books. Merci beaucoup. Resale shop here, barbershop. State Street Barbers. Welcome to Old Town. Wow, Fournette. Yeah, Galucci. Here, get your Napolitana pizza. Yeah, thanks Taco. Thanks Digby. Rural Tennessee. Gene, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in from Tennessee. That's great. Yeah. I was just in North Carolina across the mountains there. But I guess I flew over Tennessee. What at Tennessee? The same thing Arkansas. I'm sure you're tired of that joke. But Tennessee's a beautiful state. From the Smokies all the way to the Mississippi there. Big long state. Here's North Avenue. There's the Second City. Improv theater. All the Saturday Night Live greats came through there. And yeah, we'll cross the street here. Here's the Foxtrot. And there used to be a movie theater there, but they used it for the entrance to the Second City Improv Theater. There, John Belushi used to go through there. Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, all the greats there. Gilda Radner, Tina Fey. There's they used to hang out at the Old Town Ale House, which is over there. They took down the sign for some reason, but it's still there by the Elite Nails, the Old Town Ale House. It's right there. At least it was. I got to cross the street here. We got 5 seconds. We see where this Walgreens is. They want to build a 36-story high-rise luxury residential building. We'll see if it happens. The neighborhood's pretty much against it. I think they got some preliminary approvals, but it doesn't mean I don't see any evidence it's going forward. Depends on the market too. Here, North Avenue. The developer wants to gamble on the economy, for this economy of this city. Here we'll go by, which is Chicago. We're at North and Wells here. But I think this was Stanley Tigerman was the architect. That's why it has those. It's a very unique Walgreens there with those oval-shaped windows. They're not even really oval. There's the Conference Pub here. Utopian Tailgate. This used to be Piper's Alley back in the old days. And there's Professor Pizza. You go up to the top there. Utopian Tailgate. It's a nice bar with a roof terrace. Nice views of the city. Here's the second city. And this is the historic entrance. The main entrance is off of North Avenue. See, there's all the Saturday Night Live greats. These heads, this used to be on the Garrick Theater. We used to be downtown. We think this is Mozart. But there's all the great... there's Norm. Yeah, he just passed away there. There's all the greats from Second City here. There they are, John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. There, Gilda Radner. But Richard Nickel saves this stuff. Richard Nickel was an historic preservationist, and the architect was Louis Sullivan with his partner Donkmore Adler, and he saved it, and that's why it's here. Unfortunately, Richard Nickel lost his life in an unrelated salvage operation when he was in the Chicago Stock Exchange, but that's a different story here. I'm waiting for this to become a Halloween store. Last year, maybe they're waiting until October 1st for the 1 month lease there. Yeah, what do people think of Professor Pizza? Chris and Jennifer and I were going to eat there one night, but we decided not to, and we went to Rinaldi's instead. And so we didn't give it a taste test. So we missed our chance there. We could have gave you, Jennifer and I are 2 live. Chris is a live streamer too. There was 3 Chicago live streamers. We could have gave you our opinion. See, I can film this now because I'm on YouTube. I would have been really hesitant to try to stream this on the other format, TikTok. But hey, yeah, it looks like the old Dom's Market's going to become a fresh market. This used to be Treasure Island, but it's nothing, and it's tied to, if that Walgreens gets redeveloped, somehow they're going to try to rope in this parcel with it, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Yeah, thanks for watching on YouTube. Yeah, my biggest mistake is I spent better part of 2.5 years streaming on TikTok twice a day. My first account got banned at 38,000. My second account got to 97,000, and there it sits. And now I'm on YouTube, and they kicked me out of TikTok, kicked me out of the Creator Fund. That's nothing compared to what Ernie went through. Ernie's getting attacked by real people in real life, ICE agents. That's another peril of live streaming. Every once in a while you get thrown up on the hood of ICE. It's horrible what happened to Ernie. Walking in his own neighborhood, U.S. citizen getting harassed by ICE. He's not the only one, and that's why we're bringing awareness to this. They're just randomly jumping people in the street and saying, "Show me your papers," to U.S. citizens. Was that part of the deal? Is that happening in the small town where you live? Well, it's happening in here, in the big bad city. And that's what you voted for, so Chicago would get punished there. Yeah, we all deserve to be punished here in Chicago. Here's Wells Street and Eugenie. We're starting to enter the Old Town Triangle here. And we'll see if the ducks are out here. This is the house with the ducks, the little zoo here in Old Town. And then we'll just head through. Yeah, they must be out there. Yeah, look, the dogs. Look, the ducks and the dogs. Look, the ducks saying hello to the dog there. Look at that. That is awesome. See, that's a duck. And there's a dog. How you doing? That's great. That is awesome. The duck and the dog. Look out. Yeah, that's great. There, let's film the ducks here. Yeah, look at that. That's awesome. There's the ducks. See, ducks and dogs. Look at that. Oh, that's good. I got that. That's awesome. Yeah, the duck's not taking no guff there. Look at that.
He's like, what the heck?
Watch out for them ducks. He's going to get me next. Yeah. There, see, look. Hear the bells of St. Michael's? They say if you hear the bells of St. Michael's, you must be in Old Town. There's the ducks here. That's great. See, the duck and the dog were having a moment there. What do you say there, duck? There's the ducks here. So this is what we always talk about. We usually try to go film these ducks here. And there's the turtle. There's the turtle. The turtle's sleeping on the bottom there. There's the turtle in the little pond here, the house with the ducks here in Old Town. Very nice. See these workmen's cottages here. And yeah, the ducks missed you there. They said, where were you at? Hanging out. Yeah, people stop by with their dogs, and they stop by with their kids and strollers, and they like the ducks as well. So here, Eugene Terrace here, Eugenie Terrace. We'll head up. Ducks and the turtles there. And Duck was telling he's telling the dog to keep on walking there. Yeah, we don't want nobody that nobody sent. But hey, yeah, very soon we'll start noticing Halloween decorations on these beautiful stoops and facades here in Old Town in Lincoln Park. We saw a few this morning. It's still September, so I think people are waiting till October to finally put the stuff up here. And the weather's been so nice, it still feels like summer. Here's the Henry Gerber house here, the National Historic Landmark. He was a pioneer in LGBTQ rights. You should look him up there, Henry Gerber, in the 1920s. And if you're interested in free speech, like Charlie Kirk free speech, you would not want Henry Gerber to be persecuted for his First Amendment rights as well, and that's what happened to him in the 1920s. And free speech is hard because you got to defend people you don't necessarily agree with and different perspectives, and that's the hardest part, from Charlie Kirk on the right to Henry Gerber on the left, and everywhere in between. Here's St. Paul Crilly Court here. That's what makes democracy in America hard. Bill of Rights, like this guy, Michael Schwab. He was in the Haymarket there, and he survived, even though he was in the trial there. He lived on the street there, St. Paul Street. But yeah, all these houses decorate amazingly for Halloween and Christmas there. We'll see what they're coming up with this year. They got the nice fall display. Look at these gourds here. Better Homes and Gardens. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Taco there. Like button there. Yeah. Steven, how you doing there? You want me to clean the toilets? Is that what you're telling me? Okay. You want me to live stream cleaning the toilets? Will you watch? Yeah, I think that's where you're going with it, right? Yeah. Hey, here's the picnic table with the umbrella there. Look at that. That's the little picnic table for the birds. I think the squirrels could use it too. If you just joined here, we're on St. Paul Street here, and this is North Park Street. Old Town is the neighborhood in Chicago. Old Town, it's the Old Town Triangle Historic District. We're really kind of in Lincoln Park, but it's this historic district, which is part of it, kind of overlap. Ernie, how you doing there? It's a beautiful evening there, yeah. Yeah, thanks for hitting the thumbs up there. Thanks, Taco and Shauna and everybody for being on here. Appreciate it. Mary Therese and Anita, and we had a nice lunchtime walk there. My leg is feeling a little better. I'm slowly walking out. I just walking slow. I was in some pain there, but it's manageable. Got some icy hot there. I feel like Shaq there with the icy hot on. Here's the 1891 here, the Badger Family Alumni Lane. It's at the Menominee Club here, Menominee Boys and Girls Club. And we'll go by the... Yeah, they're supposed to have an Oktoberfest. I think I missed it. I think it was this past weekend there was an Oktoberfest. I was just too lazy to get off the couch there with my leg injury there. And so yeah, I think we missed the Oktoberfest that was this weekend here, but there'll be more stuff. There's always something going on. That's why we got so many Chicago live streamers. I can't cover everything myself. Yeah. Check out Ernie's Chicago Nuggies there. Nia and Lambie T there. Digby, yeah. Yeah, Ernie was attacked by the ice holes. But thanks everybody for your kind words for Ernie and show of support there. That's why I posted that. Show Ernie he's not alone. We won't let this stand. You know, we'll rally around our fellow Chicagoans here. And so sorry that happened to you, Ernie. And thanks for letting us know. And I feel like a dummy. Ernie was trying to let me know yesterday. I didn't even see the message. And that's my own fault. I'm not the best person checking messages, as we all know. But thanks, Ernie, for letting me know. Now we're aware, and we're spreading the awareness there of what's going on here. Menominee and Lincoln Park West. Yeah, we'll head up here. Yeah, let's cross on the other side of the street here, because it's amazing how this street looks completely different for different sides of the street here. And I always walk down this side because we get the Ann Halstead row house. If we walk down this side, there's some really nice stuff here, like this Tudor timber looking stuff. Get these doors. Here's the rent. Here they actually got the price. So here's a studio, 562 square feet, 1,850 for 562 square feet. That's how expensive rent is in Chicago. So 1,850 for a studio. See, I rent a 1-bedroom, so I pay over 2,000. So that gives you an idea how much I waste on housing to live in this area and why I don't have a car. When I moved to Lincoln Park in 1999, you know how much my studio cost? It was $450. They raised it to $500. I went nuts. I was like, I can't believe I'm paying $500 for a studio. That was in 1999, and now they charge $1,850 for a studio in the same neighborhood. 25 years later, that's how much housing. It's more than tripled in price, and that's the value of your dollar going down. So all your retirement for all the stock market gains going up and up and up, your purchasing power keeps you right where you started there. It's a big trick. The hidden tax of inflation. Here, okay, so look at these. Okay, this is Lincoln Park West. These came later, but look at that beautiful mansard roof. This is almost like Spanish revival style. And then this is the Ann Halstead row houses. That's Louis Sullivan and his partner Donkmar Adler. You see his classic Louis Sullivan ornamentation there on the terracotta. That's what built like 1886. We're on this side of the street, and this housing is equally interesting. Look, Better Homes and Gardens there. Look how the garden apartment's under the stoop there. And this is the northern end of the Old Town Triangle Historic District, Lincoln Park, Chicago. There's the Charles Wacker house and the Frederick Wacker house. You heard of Wacker Drive, and I think Jennifer You Should Eat was able to get in both of those. I'm kicking myself because I missed that live, and I understand why she might not want to post the footage, because the owner was so nice, and she wants to respect the privacy of the owner, the person that let her in there. Here, look at this garden there. Wow, look at this lot. See, so this is the Nash Postal family home, 1835. Lincoln Park West. Originally ordered and built from the Sears catalog. Italian 8-frame house. So was this a Sears? This was a Sears Roebuck mail order house. Can you believe that? It looks like they added on to the back. And look at that garden there. Let's see. Built from a Sears catalog. Huh. They used to be able to order houses from the Sears catalog, but I didn't realize they were as nice as this. That's a pretty nice house there. So yeah, the Wacker houses. Oh yeah, your house payment. You're doing the right thing, Grim Evil. You're building equity, and you're in a more, your cost of living is much more reasonable than mine. You realize in the city, it's like the meter's running all the time, you know. It's like when I was in Las Vegas, after like 3 days, I'm like, get me out of here, because I felt like every second it's just like the meter's running and I'm losing money the longer I'm there, you know, not even if I'm gambling or not. Same with Chicago. Anywhere you go, it costs money, especially if you got a car. You know, food, everything's just more expensive. It's like an extra dollar. I remember when I first, you know, used to start going to Manhattan, they wouldn't even give you change. They would round up to the dollar. They didn't want to deal with change, you know. But here, we'll cross here. We'll head up Lincoln here. Here's Wisconsin. But hey, we're heading home from work here. It started to get dark earlier. What do we got here? Let's see what time we got. 6:12 in the PM. Here we're on Lincoln Avenue here. Now we're in Lincoln Park. You like the Sears catalog house there, Sheridan? Yeah. Yeah, it's like ordering a house through Amazon there, yeah. Nelios there, that's good. So this is the Lincoln Park area, Chicago, about 3 miles north of the downtown. That's where we're at here, and on the lakefront there. Used to walk. Gene, how you doing there? Thanks for checking out your old walking area here. Yeah, it's a nice walk here. Yeah, you see, look at all, that's why they use this for Public Enemies. We talk about this. It looks so much like the 1920s. All you have to do is change the cars. You can put Model Ts or Model A cars. And the Biograph Theater's a few blocks north here, and that's where John Dillinger met his end in 1934, and that's what Public Enemies is about there with Johnny Depp, the movie. We're on Lincoln here, Lincoln Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, runs on a diagonal. There's Rinaldi's there. But here we'll go by the construction progress of this 4-story building here that's on Armitage and Lincoln here. Yeah, look at these beautiful cornices here. Yeah, that bike almost got it there. The door almost opened in the bike lane there. But hey, the 1900 block of Lincoln here, Chicago, Illinois, Lincoln Park. Lincoln Hotel, Lincoln Park, Lincoln Avenue. See, Lincoln Park Apartments. Lincoln Park Shoe Repair. Oh, look at this! Look at that greenstone there. I like that. See, they got the Blackhawks, but then they got the Packers. I don't understand that. Hey, there's a Halloween decoration there. We see the scarecrow there. So you see the heads here. So we saw the heads on the from the Garrick Theater on the Second City. Here's the heads on similar heads. Same thing here. They got a few pumpkins there. Hey, they got the nice table there. So you see a lot of heads like this because there's several that look like that all over the city. There's that scarecrow I saw there. Hey, first Halloween decorations we're starting to see go up here. Lincoln Avenue, Lincoln Park, Chicago. That's good. Yeah. Academy of Sciences. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the Academy of Sciences is right near here. Yeah, that's good. Look at that. See, how many times have I never walked past or not filmed that? Look at that double balcony with the spiral staircase there. And there's that building. It looks like it could be in New Orleans. But here we're almost to the 6-way intersection of, Lincoln, Sedgwick, and Armitage here. No, is that? No, it's, yeah, I think that's what it is, yeah. There, see Lincoln Avenue, there's the 1967. North Buena Deli and Wine here. There's that new construction there. This used to be Stanley's. Nothing lasts. YouTube. Yeah, positive, negatives, everything. Look at that new construction there. Yeah, it's looking nice. Remember, that was a one-story CVS for a long time, and now they tore down the CVS, and looks like there's going to be a storefront, and then they're going to have housing above. See, here's Armitage. The Park West is over there. It's a music venue. That heads up to DePaul. This is Armitage. Heads to the Armitage stop on the brown and purple line. But here's that new housing there. And here, let's head up this way. So this is Sedgwick. We'll go past the Psychedelic Barbie house and get to Clark Street, and then I can go home, rest my bum leg here, see if the soreness will get better. Hey, somebody's got the giant skull on the porch here. Yeah, I've seen some Halloween decorations start to go up. Even in North Carolina, I saw a few. We're slowly but surely. I bet you after next weekend, once we get to October, people just don't have the... In Chicago, we know once we start putting the Halloween decorations up, it means there's a chance it could start snowing. So we say if we delay it until the end of October, maybe this summer like weather we're having this week. And again, the forecast looks amazingly nice the rest of the week, like 70s and 80s and sunshine and 60s at night, and not too bad. Maybe a little cooler out in the suburbs. The lake's cooling down a little bit. Yeah, my old sea dog leg, my old peg leg. I feel like a peg leg pirate there. I'm not making fun. Here we got some Halloween decorations. I remember they put this out last year. They had a big pizza slice that went along with it, but hey, they got the skeleton there. So hey, we're seeing some Halloween decorations there. Some people already got them out there. Even their flowers. They got, look at the flowers. They got orange pom-pom flowers. They got some skeletons coming down the balcony. This is on Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hey, we got the Beetlejuice monster. Hey, you got the Frankenstein, got the skeleton. That's a nice skeleton to put the eyes in it there, I'm sure. There's the skeletons crawling up the... But I like the orange flowers there, the orange pom-pom flowers. That just puts the trick there. Little baby skeleton. But hey, we got the whole spooky season ahead of us, so yeah, we're starting to see Halloween decorations. Very nice here. So here we'll head down Sedgwick Street. What happened to this tree? We lost a tree. Oh no. So yeah, that's not a hugely large tree, but it's significant. There's a tree down here on Sedgwick here. We'll keep going. Magnesium. I'll get some magnesium. Hey, thanks for the good info there. I need all the help I can get. Yeah, thanks for people trying to help me out there. I think what it is, I was wearing some heavy construction boots, for OSHA requirements. I had a hard hat and had vest on and all the, steel toe boots and all that stuff. And I was walking up and down a bunch of stairs. And since I was in those boots and it wasn't my nice tennis shoes that I'm wearing now, it messed up my calf. I was like overextending my calf or something. And so it's really sore the muscle. Now I've been putting Icy Hot on it, but that doesn't solve the real damage. You just have to wait for that deep tissue to heal. And that's maybe the magnesium will help with that. Thanks for the good info here. But hey, we're at, where are we at here? Dickens and Sedgwick here. Lincoln Park, Chicago. Hey, look at this tourist here. They got the hat there. Got the bike lane here. Get across. Yeah, there's a nice bike lane here on Dickens. It's right parallel to Armitage. Here's the nice tree-lined street here of Sedgwick. Steel-toed tennis shoes. That's good, Grim. I need to get some of those. Yeah, that's a good idea. I was just too cheap to get them. But lessons learned. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, Nelios, that skeleton looked like Sue the Tyrannosaurus Rex there. Hey, look at the brick alley here. Here's the Hotel Story. I still have to research this. I always say I'm going to research it and always forget about it. We're here at Sedgwick Street, the nice tree-lined streets here. It almost feels like we're in Savannah, Georgia here. Look, it's like live oak trees, but it's just regular oak trees with ivy on them. 2100 block of Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. 70 degrees here. Well, we're about 6:15. What time we got here? 6:22. Sun's about to set, but we're almost home here. So eventually it'll be dark enough where I'll be able to start filming the Psychedelic Barbie house at night, which I like it at night, especially when they light it up with the psychedelic colors, and that's why I call it the Psychedelic Barbie house. It's mainly because of how it looks at night with those pastel colors all lit up with the multicolored light they got on it. Look at these nice Italianate bay windows, the nice stoops here, Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. This is the Mid-North Historic District. This is my way home from work here. I walk by this all the time. Hey, they got some nice chalk writing here. But here, there's the, hey, they got some pumpkins there. There's the Victorian there, the Psychedelic Barbie house. There's the nice Italianate next to it. Hey, here they got some, in this Italianate row house here. Look at those windows. They got some little skeletons going up the banister. I like the pumpkins there. Yeah, they got all the eyeballs. You got the eyeballs that glow in the dark, nice pumpkins. There's a nice little witch. And a lot of happy skeletons there looking at the Psychedelic Barbie house. Look at that. Look at this Victorian. Best of the Painted Ladies there, 1988 Chicago magazine, I think. And we'll wait for this car here. But here, that's the Cathedral Arch of the trees here at Sedgwick Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. Look at the pastel color schemes there. The wrought iron fencing matches the cornice and the window accents. And beautiful porch here. This is on Sedgwick Street, south of Webster, Lincoln Park, Chicago, Mid-North Historic District. This is a Victorian house. It's got the John Kearney statues. It's got the giraffe. It's got the horse. And again, they light this up at night. Soon enough, we'll start seeing this. And then you'll see what I mean with the pastel color scheme lit up. And there it is. Psychedelic Barbie house there. Thanks, Taco Jalapeno Salsa. CJ's mommy, don't you like this? Nelios, yeah. Hey, you see all those eyeballs? Yeah, like the eyeballs on the Halloween decoration. I'm trying to work on getting it not to snap there. I think I have to just, the way I zoom in and out, I have to train my fingers to do it a different way. But we're using the YouTube app. Has the resolution been okay? And here, Webster and Sedgwick here. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, none of us can afford that home. That's why I film it. It's free to walk down the street there, you know. And just because you own it doesn't mean you can enjoy it. It's a lot of upkeep and maintenance cost. This is, you know. Here they're turning. Okay, good. Here we'll head across here. Yeah, so this is Webster here. Look at the nice porches there. We'll head up to Clark Street. Okay, so the resolution was going better and worse, and that's what happens with the YouTube app. I might go back to using Streamlabs. Streamlabs, we can keep I was testing it today. Streamlabs, we can keep a more consistent stream. The only drawback is I start to lose the comments the longer we go in. So this is good for comments. You know, we're able to, the comments are still working this late into the live stream, which is good, but the resolution's always an issue with the YouTube app. And if you go through it can knock it down, and at least it comes back before it would ever come back. So hey, thanks for the feedback there. Hey, thanks for tuning in here. No, I really don't expect. I know there's a large portion of my TikTok audience that I'm going to lose because they're just not, you know, if you use TikTok, you stay within that platform, they'll find other Chicago live streamers on TikTok and watch them, which is fine. we got so many good Chicago live streamers on TikTok. I just made this decision for my own purposes. And yeah, we might have a smaller audience on YouTube, but there's things about YouTube I like, and there's things about TikTok I dislike, and I don't like their new terms and conditions. And they kicked me out of the Creator Fund, so I kind of have a beef against them. At least YouTube still pays me when you view and engage with my content, and that's all I want, just to make a little bag from the Creator Fund. I really don't want to like monetize my whole life, sell calendars, and put my voice on your ringtone. I'm not going to do that. Hi, it's Brian Really Chicago. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Like, now send me $2.99. We should make one like dead celebrities. You know, we'll do dead celebrity soundboards. We can do all kinds of things with that. Thanks, Gene. Thanks for trying to catch the live here. Thanks for coming to YouTube. But we'll see how much of an audience we can build on YouTube. And I'm still posting reruns to TikTok. It's still, like, I posted that news about Ernie. It's still good for that, even if I'm not making any, not getting paid for it. It's still important to the community there. You know, my videos might go further now that I'm not in the Creator Fund, because I noticed if you're in the Creator Fund, they don't push them as much because they got to pay you. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you know, I switched to YouTube. I'm on YouTube now. Well, I still post reruns on TikTok, but I'm streaming on YouTube. Yeah, Brian Really Chicago. Yeah, that's good. Hey, thank you. Have a good night. There you go. See, that's our friends there. Yeah, they live in the Cobden building. This is the Cobden building. This is an historic building here. It goes back to 1892. Friends and neighbors there. They always say hello there. So I was letting them know that, yeah, I still got my TikTok account, still posting reruns there, but I'm live streaming on YouTube. And there's multiple reasons for that. I'm really afraid that I'll get more violations live streaming on TikTok, because the new terms and conditions, which are just like going into effect now, and it'll get really worse. I think most people, hopefully TikTok's listening, that a lot of people, if they force people to download a new app, they'll simply not do that. And I think it would be their interest not to do that, but they're going to probably try to do it anyway. But eventually I fear the hammer's going to come down, and maybe I'm being too, but that's not the only reason. I've been wanting to switch to YouTube for over a year now, and this is just my final straw, them kicking me out of the Creator Fund. Here's Ravens. But here, we'll be back on tomorrow, same bat channel. Thanks to my mods and everybody else there. Thanks everybody for your support for Ernie, Chicago Nuggies there. We won't let that stand. That's horrible what happened to him, and thanks for letting us know so we can spread the word that U.S. citizens are being roughed up by ICE, and then they say, "Wham, Pam, thank you, ma'am. Don't even apologize." And what if they get him? What if they rough him up again? You know, was he just going to have to deal with this? Oh, sorry, we mistook you the second time because we profiled you the first time. Anyway, that's enough about that. Here's Ravens, Clark and Fullerton just south of it. Here's the Reby Moving and Storage here. So we'll see you tomorrow, same bat channel. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for your support there for Ernie. That's what it's about. Thanks for sending him a message. And Ernie, follow and watch Ernie. That's the best thing you could do to help him out, besides just showing support and be part of the friends and neighbors, part of this community that we all share. And have a good night here from Chicago. We'll see you here from Clark and Fullerton here. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And yeah, I'm going to rest my leg here. Thanks a lot. See you. Yeah, Soupy, Nelios, Central Montana. Ernie, it's called Chicago Nuggies. It's at Chicago Nuggies. So Sheridan, at like the at sign, Chicago Nuggies, N-U-G-G-I-E-S. Chicago Nuggies. Just run it all together there. Ernie, Chicago Nuggies. Yeah, follow Ernie there, and all the other Chicago live streamers as well. We're all in support with him. Have a good night. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Bye-bye.